This is, again, one of their newest games. A bit heavier, a bit chunkier, a bit bigger, and louder. Is Cuphead fast rolling dice game. So this is a game that says for ages 12 and up, 1 to 4 players, that plays in about 20 minutes. So the great thing about this, being that it has a solo mode and up to 4 players, means I can play it here on stream, and I can of course take it to game night, have a fast game. Now what's interesting is, it being a 20-minute game, it is a larger box for a filler style game than you see most filler games at. Not necessarily a problem. We'll see how it plays, and it may be one of those filler games that you always want to play multiple times when you play because of how fast it plays and how much fun you're having. So, of course, I look forward. Now, the artwork itself is kind of old school, really kind of grab your attention in the way that it's done. It sticks out on the shelf because it's not the typical artwork that modern style artwork that we see everywhere. It's kind of a throwback cartoon style we don't see enough nowadays. It's really fun. Now, of course, if you had a chance to play Cuphead, you're gonna recognize these characters: Cuphead, Miss Chalice, the Mugman, and Elder Kettle. But again, this is Cuphead fast rolling dice game, so we gotta be fast. We're gonna be rolling some dice. So I expect to see quite a few dice in here, most likely custom based on the artwork right here. And again, ages 12 and up, 1 to 4 players, 20 minutes. Take a quick look at the back. So, a quick look shows that we should expect over 600 pieces. Some boss decks, so we're going to be looking for cards, we're looking for dice, we're looking for player boards. So quite a lot going on here. And apparently there's a free companion timer and scoring app that you can find on the App Store and Google Play. So a lot going on. And even a list of contents right here on the back of the box, which is always great to find. So for those who are pulling this game off the shelf, you can kind of quickly check, okay, this is dice based, of course, because of the name, but we're going to be finding cards and all this other stuff in it. So it gives you a better idea of what type of game it is and what you should expect. So it's not just, oh, this is cards and a score sheet like Yahtzee. This has a lot more going on to it. Time to open it up. There we go. So it's saying that this is a co-op speed-based game. So with the timer app, it sounds like it's also going to be a real-time style game. So you have to act fast with a great mix of luck and strategy, which is always good. Sometimes some dice games are too much luck, or no strategy, or a lot of strategy where all the luck has been taken out of it. So when you find a good balance of luck and strategy, I'm always looking to enjoy a game like that. So I'm really interested in how this plays as well. Okay, right on top we have a small, single, kind of thin punch board. And of course our rule book, which we typically find or expect to find near the top of a game box. So let's take a quick look at this real quick. Now again, it repeats the age, player number, and time, which is always helpful. I've found there's some rule books that don't do that, and you'll have to kind of go back to the box and remind yourself. It's like always nice to just kind of give us a quick verification on that. Okay, so nice, big, and bold on all the components, naming them with great pictures of them. A quick overview on the first page, so you kind of get a quick idea of what the game is about, which is very helpful. Set up with good separation of the pictures, the text with it, so you know exactly what goes with what and how to do it, and then starting to walk through the how to play. The text is very easy to read, broken down into bullets or very short paragraphs, so you're not having to scan big chunks of text to find something that looks like you can quickly scan if you need to, if you're looking up a rule or something like that. Kind of goes through the different steps and how and all the different ways to play, losing health, defeating a boss, knockouts, some special rules it looks like for certain bosses, results. You can save your sheet, so apparently you can kind of go through steps almost like it's story based, playing against multiple bosses if you want to kind of come back to it. Additional rules, so there's a little bit of extra rules for solo, some special cards, and then resetting a boss deck. So it looks at it because it really is kind of almost story based with the way the boss decks are set up, but it tells you how to reset them as well, which is nice. And then some more stuff on resetting the deck and then scoring. Okay. Well, before I break into the rest of this, let's do our punch board. Now on here it looks like we have coins, little hands, HP, a little timer character. But what we do on here, as you know, or if you're familiar with the channel, I like to call this the punch board ASMR, where we can kind of hear the quality of a punch board and how it punches. So first few punches I'm going to do near the microphone, and we're just going to listen to it, how it punches, because you can kind of hear how well it's going, if it's starting to tear at all, stuff like that. So I'm going to start with one of the round coins. Let's see how well it punches. Okay, so that first one of the tabs caught. So let's see how well that comes off. Okay, so you have to give it a little pull. Slightly bigger tab than some other games we've pulled. Let's try a few more and see how well they go. Okay, so again, the first tab came off quite easily, but then the second one is almost catching, and you're having to almost kind of pull it away, tug it a little bit. But it is printed on both sides. It's just, so the cardboard isn't super thick, maybe 2mm at most, but that tab is bigger than we're used to seeing on some games. Now that does help it from falling out as fast, but keep in mind, as you punch like this, some of them will have this tendency to catch and hang. Now some people care, some people want to be able to punch fast, but that is something you need to keep in mind when punching these, that if you punch too fast or are not careful, you might rip or tear one because of that slightly larger tab on one side, because it seems to be consistently that one side that is catching, because I'm doing what I can to only put pressure directly in the middle of it. So see here, if I push this side, it's not wanting to tear that tab first. So there is one side that it seems to favor. So we'll see how these other shapes do, because typically circles and ovals punch the easiest. So considering that these are already catching, I'm curious how well the rest will punch. Now, none of these have torn yet, because that tab is catching it faster and then holding it, and then I'm careful on how I pull it away. So if you look closely, you can see that remnant of the tab in all of this board. Let me take a look at the back. Yeah, so if you take a look at the back of this, you can see the difference in the punch. To me, I could be wrong here, but this looks like a die punch and not a laser cut. Because typically when we get a laser cut, we get those finer tabs, a more consistent cut look on the face and the back side. But you can tell that the punch is almost not all the way through. It is, as you can tell from those punches, but when it does leave a larger tab. So to me, I'm assuming this is more of a die punch where it's like coming down, pressure punching on top of it with the plate punching it out as opposed to it laser cut. I could be wrong, but based on my experience and probably limited knowledge of punch machines. Yeah, so these are catching kind of the same way, but not as bad. And because it's on this outside corner on a tighter radius, it's not as obvious a tab, but it's still visible after you punch them. These rectangles also slightly catching. Again, nothing's tearing yet, as long as you're careful, kind of doing a push and then a light pull away. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's the first potential tear. Now, the good news here is it's wanting to tear on the extra board and not the actual component. So as I pull the rest away, you can see that layer came up on the back of the waste board, but the component itself is okay. So do keep in mind how you're pushing these out. Now, I know some people argue, hey, you should push from the back of these, but I found that pushing on the face has always given me the best result. But again, I can't make you punch it a certain way. This is just my experience and what you can see. So last but not least is going to be probably the trickiest part. These hand pieces, and I can see the tab here and here in the opposite corners. So I'm going to see which one. I'm betting this one breaks first and that one catches, if at all. Yep. And then the little bit of a pull away. That's going down and then pull it out. Now that one looks like it had almost an extra tab. There, and up here. It's almost okay. So what they did, they alternated tabs. So corners and then two corners, corners, corners. It may be the way they were punching it and getting the correct kind of pressure, or to reduce potential tears. But I don't know, it seems to be punching about the same. One catches, one breaks first, and then you have to just do the lightest pull on it. But that's what we have so far. All those components. One board. Let's see what else is in the box now. Okay, so it looks like we have player boards with a plastic, not quite rubber, but more of just a plastic band that was holding them together. So we have, and each of these boards is a unique shape as well. Around the character itself, we have Cuphead in red, Miss Chalice and kind of an orange hue, yellowish orange, Mugman in blue, and the Elder Kettle in a gray tone. It looks like each of them have health spots, parry spots, spots for dice, and kind of a little tidbit about themselves. And then it looks like also right now the pea shooter ability looks to be the same on them, but the way it's set up, it's possible you place a card there next to it, either adjusting. And hello and welcome, Mama MJ 19. I hope you're doing well today. It's been a while since I've been on, but I'm glad to be back. It's been a long couple of weeks, holidays and whatnot, so I haven't streamed in a little while, but glad to get to be streaming again. And and I believe I've seen you comment on some of the giveaway stuff we're currently doing, but if not, I'm sure you've seen it. We have quite a few holiday recommendation games and doing giveaways right now on Instagram and YouTube and whatnot. But today, just hanging out, opening some of the games that I received from the op to get to show off. In the background, I've several more that I received. Yes, go comment on the YouTube post because you got to comment to win, and each video or each day, you only have about 3 days per giveaway to enter, and so I don't want you to miss out on any of those. And we got a lot of great games coming up because we actually get to do 12 days in a row of giveaways. So we're not even halfway there yet. So I hope you have a chance to comment and a chance to win. So right now we're opening Cuphead, the fast rolling dice game. This is one of their newest games. It is a 20-minute game for ages, it says 12 and up. It's 1 to 4 players. And we finished punching all the components. We're looking at all the boards right now. It caught my attention. Now I did not get to play Cuphead when it was the video game, but the art style of it, the kind of old school cartoon, almost 2D-ish board moving into 3D is kind of a fun artwork style that you don't see enough of nowadays. So we talked about the boards. We had Cuphead, Miss Chalice, Mugman, and Elder Kettle. So let's see what else is in the box. We have what it calls the save sheet. Now the way it was in the box, it did kind of, there's no backboard to this to keep it straight, so it did kind of bend the paper a little bit. Not a huge deal if you're just writing on it, so it's not critical. It's kind of in-game score sheet, save it for the next game. So it looks like it has 1 through 8, because we do know there are 8 bosses in this game. So it kind of shows how you did, and keeping notes and equipment cards and coins as you play along. But knowing there's a lot of sheets, so even it's not a one-time playthrough with those bosses. There's ways to reset it and keep playing. Looks like a kind of a game board cardboard. Of course, cardboard, but it's a card board. Cardboard. Say that 10 times fast and figure out which one is which. But yes, so you set cards on this board for drawing and discarding. Looks like there's spaces for other stuff like wallet cards under it and other things around it. Okay. And then we have dice. Okay, let's look at these custom dice now. So we have 4 black die. It looks like these are all character specific because we have the red, we have the orange, blue, and this almost looks green instead of gray. But they have like little diamonds, they have feet, double feet, kind of a pointer finger, a full hand, and then it looks like a Cuphead with the straw coming out of it, like liquid. So it looks like all of these are potentially the same, just different colors. And then we have, looks like sets for each color player as well. Kind of a white ivory colored die with symbols on them as well, all custom. So we got the orange, we got the red, we got the kind of the greenish gray, and the blue, of course. That looks like these potentially have the same symbols on them. So I think I'm going to hold these a little bit closer to the camera to see. See how well that looks. Okay. There we go. So you got like pointing, you got the full hand. You got 2 feet. 1 foot, the diamond, and there's the right angle, kind of the Cuphead moving with the straw in its head, liquid moving. So these are all custom cut, but it does look like each die itself has the same shapes on it, but just one is black. The rest are this ivory white, and then all of the it is color filled. It looks like, not stamped. Yep. So you can feel the texture. It is a color fill, so that's going to last longer. You're not going to have issues with it wearing down, like a print coming off of it where you can't read what the side of the face is. So these are not only custom, but they are quality in that the way they went about it and getting custom engravings into each side of the face and then color filling it. So you know the quality and how long these are going to last is a lot better. Okay, what else we got here? We have this board right here. It looks like it's almost a spinner. That has been pre-assembled. Seems a lot of newer games nowadays have you assemble these types of spinners, but this one has been assembled for us right out of the box. So it looks like as it spins around, it's revealing different numbers. This is probably some kind of health counter, because if you get down, if you come around 3, 2, 1, KO. So it's potentially tracking the health of the boss or something like that. I don't know, but we'll see when we play it. But yeah, it seems to be a health tracker of some sort. Okay, and now it looks like we got a Ziploc bag, which is great because we did have all these components that we punched out. So it'll be great to be able to put those in a Ziploc as well. Okay, what else we have here now? Okay, we have a deck of cards. Looks like wallet cards. We have some envelopes. These almost like reward envelopes, because if you look at this first one, it says Super Art Envelope USAopoly. Open this envelope if all players complete a battle with 3 parry tokens each. So kind of, you complete this challenge, you get to open this up. So it feels like there's a card of some sort in there potentially. Since it's calling it Super Art, I assume there's some special artwork styles in there that you don't see in the rest of the game yet. It's like this one says, open this envelope if all players complete a battle with full health. Or open this envelope if you have earned at least 3 A+ scores. And then the last one is open this envelope if you earn an A+ on an aeroplane level. Interesting. Okay, so we'll set those aside. We will not be opening those on stream as part of this unboxing because we have to earn them first. So if you want to see those artworks, you need to go play and earn them. Okay, what else we have? Now we have, looks like a standee piece. Potentially for a boss card or something like that. And then we have boss decks. Those are slightly off screen now. So we have boss decks and we have this deck of cards. So I'm going to start with this deck right here. Now, like we've talked about before, when we're opening games, card decks, we're always checking, does it have a quick release tab or is there extra plastic around the edge that you can grab and cut so you don't risk damaging cards. Now, first glance, it does not have a quick release tab pull. Not a bad thing necessarily, because I've noticed that the op likes to do their plastic a little bit different than a lot of other companies when they don't do tabs, and that there's extra around these corners that you can actually see I'm holding it by that corner. So there's enough plastic there I can either pull it away with my fingers or I can get a knife into that plastic and not even point the blade at the cards. To make it faster on myself, I will be using a knife in that corner because I want to show off the cards right now. Yep, so not too hard at all. So I've already cut it. That plastic is ripping pretty easy. It's not super thick plastic either. So once you get it tearing, it tears and opens. Okay, so we have some wallop cards. These are linen finish, not gloss finish. So they're not going to be sliding around on the table too much. They do stack pretty well. That is my preference, a linen style finish, easier to shuffle. You don't have the cards sliding too much, which is especially nice if it's a real-time game. You don't want to say have to draw a card or pass a card and it flies across the table because it's gloss finish and it just doesn't want to catch on anything. So you're playing on a table without a mat or something. It's like just a dining room table that's wood, veneer or something. That card's going to slide all the way across and onto the floor. You don't want that. You want to keep it in the play area. So this linen finish is very helpful for that. Looks like these wallet cards have different effects. Players gain health. Let's see. We also have assign to a card slot before rolling to add 1 damage on shoot actions on the space. Discard at the end of the round. We have choose a player to gain health. Choose a player to gain parry token. Discard time token. We have some just straight up Cuphead symbols. That's the same symbol we saw on the dice already. We have like a single foot, 2 feet. We have the full slapping hand. We have that pointer finger as well. So some of the symbols we see from the dice and then other effects that these wallet cards have. Okay. And then let's see what these boss decks talk about. So kind of in the same art style as the envelope already. It kind of gives us boss deck and the number USAopoly, kind of old school kind of credits and stuff on here, kind of the copyrights and design in the US type thing. Kind of the fun, superior quality, manufactured for your utmost enjoyment. So let's see what this has in it. I just cut my nail, so I'm having a hard time grabbing the edge of this box. There we go. So in this box, we have a deck of cards. So you can see character artwork on the back of the deck. It says the Root Pack, Box 1 Pack Out Order. So this gives you an order to put cards back into so you can play it again without issue. Again, this does not have a quick pull tab, but it does have enough extra plastic to hold onto it, so it means I can actually open it without risk to the cards themselves, which I will be doing right now. There you go. So it opens quite easily. We'll look through these cards. Let's see, quite a few of them have that artwork. A knockout victory. Let's turn this over and see what the other side of the face, see what we should be looking at. So it kind of gives you, you play through these cards in a certain order. Root Pack talks about HP. That card itself is double-sided the same. Phase 1. Got some root vegetables on here, like a carrot. Looks like an onion, possibly a potato. But this kind of muted color scheme on these cards is kind of cool to see. Of course, the onion has to have tears because it's going to make you cry, or you make it cry. Either way, it needs the tears. Oh, stop. Stop. That's some interesting artwork. It looks like a die, the die on the head. Stop. Do not go any farther. So we're looking at the wrong side of the cards. Oops. So maybe we're supposed to look at it from this side. Oh, stop on that side too. The Root Pack. So we're looking at the back of those cards. Phase 2. Okay. Maybe we saw the right side. Maybe not. I don't know. Because it says phase 1 on that one. And then we got to a difference. After that stop, we had a phase 2 with the stop on it. We had a phase 3. Then a stop card. And a knockout. Let's see what these boss cards look like. So we got some weapons. some charm cards. So say I had mixed these up or had already played and they were mixed up in some way. This card right here, it tells you how to pack them out. So 1 phase 1 character card, the 13 phase 1 attack cards, stop card, and then ordering them. So it kind of tells you what is in this deck, but also the order they should be found in, which is kind of helpful. So I'm going to put them all back. We'll pull out some of the other decks, at least check out the artwork for the boss. But in general, I'm going to assume a lot of them have a variety of cards like that. So, another deck, another backing on this. This is the Hildeberg Deck. Again, pack out order. The general villain pig on the back right here. Let's see what the next box deck is going to be named. So it doesn't name it on the back, so let's see what's in this one. Now each deck box has the same color theme as the cards it looks like comes out of it. So the Grim Matchstick deck right here. So again, it kind of has a rules card, phases, phase cards, stop cards, knockout cards, and then weapon and charm cards in there as well. So I think the best way to kind of learn what's in these and really get a chance to experience them all is once we play it. So I think I'm going to save the rest of those decks for, I'm going to try to plan a solo stream of this whole game, and then we can kind of walk through the different boss decks if there's time. I may have to break it into multiple streams or multiple videos, but maybe I'll do a whole series of a video or of either 1 or 2 decks at a time and get it uploaded to YouTube along with this unboxing, a full Cuphead fast rolling dice game series potentially. But it looks like that's primarily what's in the box. Get this packed up real quick, and then we'll do our we do a shake test. Now, unfortunately, it came with cards, which I guess fit in here okay. Not a huge deal. I typically like to see at least one more baggie to fit all those cards into, because we're putting all of these components into the one bag that came with it. Not a huge deal. Of course, like most gamers that are ingrained in the hobby, typically have some extra bags lying around because we know not every game has the storage solution that we particularly care for. Now, I'm not saying this is bad storage, because it does have a nice plastic insert that holds all those boss decks and seems to have a slot for these components to fit in quite easily without having to break them all apart into dice hero cards there type thing, but it holds them well, it appears. And it did have the health spinner. Did I already put that back in here? There it is. That fit down in here pretty easily. So, based on my experience in putting things away and seeing stuff like this, like as you can see, this sheet right here tends to want to fall down into those holes. So I would recommend setting it this way in the box, or potentially putting your boards under it. So it doesn't have that chance, because here, as you can see, it still fits around that. So I'm probably going to put this in last so it's less likely to keep bending. I want to keep it straighter in the box. So yeah, these were in the box like this. So now I'll just put the sheet like that instead. That'll help keep it a little bit flatter. Now if I had wanted to, I could have put this plastic back on these boards, hold them together. It may not be necessary with how tight all this seems to fit. Put the rules back on top. Put this on here. And we're going to do our kind of our travel shake test. So, if you're like me, you like to travel with your games. You like to take them to a friend's house. You like to take them to a convention, go play with family somewhere. Or maybe not, but maybe when you're done playing the game and you're ready to pick something else up, you might kind of toss it on the floor behind you. You may not be perfectly gentle all the time. So we do a shake test. So it kind of showed, okay, it fits on the shelf well. And it can have a little durability, so your components stay organized. So we're going to shake it. Listen to how little that's moving. That's a good sign, and that things will stay organized. Now, granted, all the deck boxes, all those little baggies that we already have some things in, and the way that laid together, I don't anticipate any issues with that test. So the closest thing is this piece right here started to pop up, come out like that. But that's easily fixed, and then you put it underneath. So ultimately, I can see the components staying protected, organized, and ready to play with. So that was Cuphead, fast rolling dice game from the op, ages 12 and up, 1 to 4 players, that plays in about 20 minutes. Now I believe that 20 minutes is for a single boss deck. So if you were to play all 8 bosses, that's going to add up to multiple hours of fun, either solo or of course with family or friends. So hopefully you get a chance to play this game and have some joy-filled game nights as you try it out.